Ever wonder how your student growth measure will be calculated using STAR? Remember that growth is defined as the change in student achievement for an individual student between 2 or more points in time. For teachers utilizing STAR as their SGM, these 2 points in time are the student's first score from the fall testing window and the last score in the spring testing window. To help us better understand the process of how student growth measures are determined when utilizing STAR assessments, we have asked for some help. This is Tony. He is a second grader in Mr. Manny's class. Step 1 in the process is for Tony to take the STAR test. In the fall, Tony had a scaled score of 391 on the STAR math test. While he took the test multiple times in the fall window, 391 will be used to calculate student growth since it was his first test score. Step 2 is to compare Tony to his like peers across the country. This means that we need to take a look at all of the second graders in the nation that also had a scaled score of 391 during the fall testing window. Imagine that nationally there are 10 total students that had the score, including Tony. Fast forward to spring, and let's look at the final scores of the students in this national group to see how much they have grown since the fall. Step 3 in this process is to sort these students from the lowest spring score to the highest. Relative to his national group of peers, Tony is at the 50th percentile. This is because he is the 5th student out of 10 when placed in order according to his spring scaled score. Tony has a student growth percentile, or an SGP, of 50. This process will be repeated for all members of Mr. Manny's second grade class. Remember that every student in Mr. Manny's class probably had a different scaled score, so they are not in the national group that Tony was in. They were in a national group of second graders that had the same scaled score that they received in the fall. At the conclusion of the spring testing window, Mr. Manny will receive a report of his class roster with each student's growth percentile indicated. The final step of the process is to determine his student growth measure score for his evaluation. This is identified by using the median, or the middle number, of the student growth percentiles of his class. STAR created the following chart, which is ODE approved. Mr. Manny's evaluating administrator will use this chart to determine his rating score that is to be submitted to the state of Ohio through ETPES. Since Mr. Manny teaches both ELA and math, he will receive a separate rating for each STAR assessment. These scores, along with the district's shared attribution score, will be combined to create Mr. Manny's overall student growth measure score for OTES. For more information about how a teacher's final summative rating is calculated for OTES, click here.